everyone. It's good to be in Argentina, yet another staking summit. I usually come to staking summit. This is probably my third one or fourth one. Talking a lot of technical aspects of Ethereum and why it is so good to build on Ethereum and why Puffer built on Ethereum. I took a different approach today. I'm framing things more adaptable to the market today. That's why we're going to talk about neobank infrastructure. And I'm going to talk about why even we started talking about neobanks. We're all crypto people. We usually say, you talking about banks still? So I'm going to demystify a little bit of that today, why neobanks are getting a foot in the door again, and why we're even talking about it, and how Puffer and its infrastructure that it's building is going to contribute to this future of neobanks. So first of all, who hasn't used a Web2 payment platform in this audience? Is there anyone who hasn't used a Venmo, Stripe, or their own version of their countries, right? Like that doesn't exist. And naturally, we have seen a boom in use of the payments platform in the past 6 years. In addition to that, in the recent years, we have also seen a massive boom in adoption of stablecoins. I'm going to shortly make a nice connection about these two because these two are hand in hand, because stablecoins are arguably the most efficient way of pulling off a payment platform. As you guys might know, stablecoins are now mounting up to over $290 billion on chain, on any blockchain. I'm not saying just Ethereum, collectively on Ethereum, Solana, Tron, BNB, and all the other chains. This shows effectively that there is an ongoing trend of getting on chain with the adoption of payment systems very soon. Now, let's just look at the market today. Of course, I'm not going to leave Ethereum behind and not talk about the fact that the majority of the RWAs are actually deployed on it, but there is a growing demand of saying, okay, if RWAs are coming to Ethereum or a new blockchain, can this new blockchain actually handle the trade of these RWAs? So there is obviously a demand for a very fast execution environment that can handle a New York Stock Exchange speed. There is a demand for staking, and in fact, this yield on this golden standard store of value. You can't stake gold and generate yield on it, but you can stake ETH and generate yield on it as a store of value. So there is over $100 billion in staked assets, which comes with block space control as well. Now, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole because a lot of you told me that I talk too much about nerdy stuff. But I'm going to stop here. Block space influence is going to be one of the most important items in the future beyond staking very soon. There is this roll-up and app chain ecosystem that has a massive market potential. Why do I say that? Anything that comes with consensus is eventually going to be slow. It's not going to be able to really meet up the demands at the end of the day. We're talking about Lean Ethereum. We're speaking about the efforts that 00 team is putting in. But at some point, when you have consensus as your sort of trust, it's not going to keep up with the demand of the speed and scalability that you need. That's where eventually rollups and app chains are going to be always in the market. A sidechain or a custom execution environment on the side of your source of trust is going to be necessary to support this network. Now, why am I talking about neobanks now? Why all of a sudden I started saying, oh, neobanks are so cool, let's talk about neobanks? With the evolution of the regulatory landscape, with the Genius Act and the others, we have seen institutions and American institutions talking about crypto more and more. They started talking about, oh, AI is also going to streamline our payments. Our financial system is going to get better. Stablecoins are going to be one of the best ways for us to distribute US dollars across the world and make it as a gold standard asset as well. And before I get to why eventually I'll talk about neobanks, I want to also demystify some of the straight up things. We have store of value, traditional word store of value that is gold. Now we're evolving to BTC and ETH. On yield side, we have the treasury bills that have been a very risk zero source of yield. Now we have, of course, LSTs, LRTs, or staking. A big myth that everybody I've seen at the highest level of basically payment chains or payment ecosystems that are talking about is this myth of settlement. Swift is not a settlement platform, rather it's a communication platform. You cannot compare Swift to Ethereum. Ethereum settles, of course, every 14 hours maybe, completely with full settlement. I'm not talking about block time of 12 seconds. Well, like normal financial platforms like settle every 72 hours or even more. So we have now this very amazing settlement layer called Ethereum, which is not comparable to Swift. So next time someone is launching it and one says that, hey, like this Ethereum should become like Swift, it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Swift is not settlement layer. Now getting to the interesting slide. Why am I talking about neobanks so much? You know, crypto is not really, really young. It's been talked about ever since 2010, 2012. But it has been always hard to convince to break into the institutional side of things. It's been harder to convince them that this is the new paradigm of money. Now, it got easier for us as soon as stablecoins and payments got involved. Payments and stablecoins are a great way for us to eventually convince bigger institutions to get into DeFi, to start using ETH, to start using even BTC as the store of value and the gold standards of this new future of finance. That's why I am bullish to at least start utilizing stablecoins and payments platform to break into this future of finance that we're promising folks. This is our transitional period. Now, how am I connecting all of this now to Puffer? Why did we talk about, I think my microphone, I'm walking too much. Why are we talking about now the infrastructure that is needed? Like I mentioned before, the first thing we need is this source of yield. This very trustworthy source of yield that is comparable to treasury bonds and bills. That's where Puffer staking and restaking enters the chat. In addition to that, this bank that wants to have payment rails, it needs a very fast and scalable execution environment. That's why we built Puffer Unify. Puffer Unify is a base rollup that is fully composable with the Ethereum L1. For the first time, you can make function calls, you can make anything you want from the L1, meaning that we enabled the UX of speed with the UX of trust of Ethereum, the trustlessness of Ethereum itself. In addition to that, of course, we made every one of these more curated towards institutions. If they would like to have a non-custodial staking platform, they can run Puffer Institutional. And additionally, and finally, they can run ProMax, which is a private execution environment for institutions that is connected to Ethereum. We can do privacy-preserving KYC for your users. Let's say you are a massive asset manager with $6 trillion. You say, I would like to only offer this service to selected of my customers. Oh, yes. Okay, you can that one. I use okay, much better. No worries. So ProMax enables this private execution environment for a JP Morgan, for a Fidelity, and others that would like to provide their own trading platform. They would like to provide their own payment platform based on their own stablecoins to offer these services. And this is our efforts of breaking into institutions. Ultimately, I tell everyone liquidity is king. If you want to build anything, even as the biggest institutions, you want to go where the liquidity resides. Where is the highest amount of programmable money liquidity reside today? It's Ethereum. You want to be connected to this layer. Which whale parks their assets, their programmable money on which chain? They park it on Ethereum. That's what our infrastructure enables for all of the users of this future neobank. Now, a lot of people ask me, okay, what is going to be the next biggest product that launches on Ethereum? Who is the most successful project that launches in future? I do believe, according to that theory of liquidity, the next stablecoin, the next perptex, the next payment rails, or even the next RWA or New York Stock Exchange application that launches at an app chain or a base rollup on Ethereum is going to win this market because they can tap to the liquidity of this market, they can tap to the speed, and they will be able to execute. Now I talk about Puffer. I'm speaking about, I usually tend to open up about what Puffer is, but I'm going to wrap up with what Puffer was and what Puffer is going to be. We have started with the first permissionless liquidity staking platform. We have broken the, if there is a Guinness record of reaching 1 billion in TVL in under 16 days only, and we have many American institutional backing. That's why we're thinking about blockchain the way that we're thinking about it. We're thinking about the new financial paradigm and an entry point to American market through the institutions. We have a booth here. We have many of our team members present at Staking Summit. Later today, I will be also on a panel talking about Ethereum rollups, decentralization, and scaling. We have many exciting guests joining us. I'll be around if you want to chat to me. Thank you all.